From the Mapleview Animal Hospital studios, this is the WHTC Morning News with Gary Stevens and Peg McNichol on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to the WHTC Morning News for this Wednesday, October the 7th. Every first and third Wednesdays of the month, we welcome in author and blogger Diane Loew, a farm wife. Her segment, A Farm Life with a Farm Wife, is presented by Farm Bureau Insurance Mark-Hop Agency on Chicago Drive, just west of US 31 in Howland. Call Mark now for a quote at 396-5728. That's 396-5728 for Farm Bureau Insurance Mark-Hop Agency. Diane Loew joins us from her home in the Hudsonville area. She is a dairy farmer by trade with her husband and family, a family farm that has done it for, can I ask how many years you guys have been a commercial farmer, Diane? Hold on a second. You're still on mute. Okay.
How's that?
Now we got you. You were on
okay.
mute.
We are on our fourth generation right now.
Okay.
Fifth generation coming up, perhaps.
Perhaps, and that's an important thing because you want to try to maintain it, and we've seen signs about 100, farm homestead for 100 plus years. You'd love to be able to put that on your guys' property. Maybe not before we go away, but it would be nice to be able to maintain that.
We do have a Centennial Farm sign. We are Centennial, so. But my grandson, he's going to be graduating this year, and he looks like he was born to farm. He loves it. He's good at it, but he hasn't made his choice yet. So we'll see.
Indeed. By the way, you can follow Diane on Facebook, A Farm Wife, and that's where she posts her blogs and some of her observations about farming, making cookies, and some other fun things as well. Diane, what's on your mind today?
Well, we are right in the last stages of harvesting, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. Even before the harvester gets out there and the chopper starts chopping and the bags get filled or the silos get filled, and even before the fertilizer goes on and before the soil gets tilled and even before the corn gets planted, we have to figure out what seed we want for what field. So what we're doing now started way back in February or March, maybe whenever my son got the seed for the fields. But now it's all been going all year long, and now it's time to harvest. So we've been doing silage. We have custom harvesters doing it, and then we were also doing it ourselves. But I also posted this on my Facebook page, so if they want to see pictures. We have a large silage pile over at our North Farm. And when you harvest corn for your cows, when we make silage, we are chopping up the whole plant, the stalk, the ears, everything. And it gets chopped up into about 3/4 inches of material. And we have to preserve that. So one way of preserving it is putting it in a bunker or in a silage pile. So we pile it up and we keep adding and adding and adding, and the tractor drives over it and packs it and packs it and packs it until it's time to cover it. And then we cover up with plastic. We take this huge piece of plastic. It's kind of folded up like your plastic tablecloths from the dollar store. Unfold it, put over it, stretch it all out. It takes a lot of people. And then we have to hold that down somehow. So we use tires that we tie together. So it's about 6 to 7 weeks after the corn tassels is when we start chopping. And that has to last the whole year. So our pile over there is 72 feet by 300 feet by 16 feet. And the highest point is 23 feet. And I asked our nutritionist if he could give me some specs on it, so to speak. And he said we had 565 loads of 12.8 tons of corn. So we have 7,200 plus tons of corn in that pile for our cows. And that took 365 acres to create that pile of feed. And that pile of feed should last 1 year for 560 cows. Well, we have about 500 cows over there. And we don't feed it green. we have to, we can't feed it green because when it goes from a fermented stage to green stage, it upsets the cows. So really what we're doing is, in order to store that silage, we have to have a way to preserve it. And fermenting is how that is done. The plastic goes over top of it, the sugars start breaking down, and it actually ferments. And some people think it smells terrible. Other people kind of like the smell of it, but it's a way of preserving it to feed the cows all year long. And it's so compacted together that if it's done right, a square foot of that silage will weigh about 42 pounds. So we got a huge pile of feed over there that'll hopefully last our cows all year. But then comes the part where we have to weigh it down, like I said. So we use tires that are sliced. And I guess there are some manufacturers that actually make things for this, but I guess ours were tires. They weigh anywhere from 20 to 25 pounds each tire. So we have a tractor that brings them all up to the top on like forks. And then we have to pick them up and spread them evenly out. And then we get to tie them together. We tie them together with strings, vertically, horizontally. So each tire has 4 ties to it. And then you have to also tie like a, tie them together so that they hang over the edge. And at one point it's 23 feet. So I think we're up to 12 tires that we had to tie together to put down the edge. So it's a lot of work. Your hands get really sore, you get really dirty, but it is kind of fun to do when you're all up there together. So that's what we've been doing. And that's kind of what's going on now. And like I said, I have it on my blog and I have it on my Facebook page if you want to see a few pictures of it.
Now, it seems as if it's a lot of planning ahead. So to a certain extent, you plan for, well, you know, we're talking on October the 7th of 2020. Are the plans starting to be made now for 2022 or 2021?
Oh yeah.
In that regard?
Yeah. Trying to figure out, you know, what it's going to be, because we plant rye in the fall in some fields for our first harvest in the spring. He's got to figure that out. And I don't know what all they're figuring out, but that's kind of what's going on now. And I had one more real quick thing. Remember the milk cooler program that we did, that we got a milk cooler into the Holland mission and 2 other missions in this area, or food banks? Well, that's starting up all over again. So if anybody out there is involved in a food bank or a mission or anything that hands out food that needs dairy, you have to have a space to be able to house this dairy unit. It's a cooler. And to be able to keep it filled, you let me know, send me a message or contact me on my Facebook page, and we will get you in the running for it. And what happened, like with the Holland mission, is they got the cooler and it was filled with $500 worth of dairy products. And now they have a cooler that they continually fill and hand out to their people. So that program was quite a success, and they're going to do it again. And I know there was a couple other places that contacted me that for whatever reason didn't get picked. They could only pick so many. And if you fall into that category or you know somebody that does, contact me on A Farm Wife Facebook page and let me know, and we will try to get something going for you.
Now, the thing is, this is the time of year where really the need becomes more acute. The holidays, great awareness of trying to feed the needy, but you know, a lot of times, you know, we're getting into the fall and winter months. The needy needs shelter, needy need food, and It's a good time to bring this program back up to speed.
Yeah, and I do believe that with the elections coming and everything happening, we're going to go back into shortages in the grocery store. Somebody's not going to like how the election goes. Somebody is going to like how it goes. There's just going to be more issues, I believe, that's going to hit the grocery store. And I think there's going to be short. In fact, I've seen it already. And if you are thinking ahead, like for all your holiday baking, start buying your stuff now. You can freeze flour, you can freeze butter. Butter should be cheaper now than what it will be at Christmas time or Thanksgiving time. Usually it goes up. So plan ahead and get some of the stuff in the house that you want or need, and then you won't be one of those people that are frantically searching for that roll of toilet paper or whatever.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Those are memories we don't want to see repeated, shall we say. She is Diane Loew. Her author and blogger. Her Facebook page is A Farm Wife. Find it on Facebook, and that page will only have more on the information how you can get a hold of Diane, especially if you are involved with a charitable group that could use maybe a little help with the dairy distribution effort that is Diane is definitely a part of. And if all goes well, Diane will do this again in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much for joining us today on WHTC.